Where did you go? There you are. I lost my connection there. Stop pushing the buttons.
Al, are you saying you're being a button pusher?
That's me. I like to push people's buttons. Okay, it's 7 o'clock on December 7th, and this is the Villa Park Regulars Board meeting. Clerk Kornecki, could you call the roll, please?
Trustee Salella?
Here.
Trustee Cazone?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Patrick? Trustee Tucker?
Here.
Trustee Wagner?
Here.
President Bolfus?
Here. And we'll move on to public comments on agenda items. Manager Keener, do we have any emails for comments, or is anyone out there from the public?
No one's out here, Your Honor, and I do not have any emails either.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item 4, which is amendments to the agenda. Do any of the board members have any amendments to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to number 5, which is appointments to boards and commission. And 5A is Jeffrey Pett for the Traffic and Safety Commission and his term would run from 12/7/2020 to 4/30 of 2022. Do I have a motion for the appointment? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do you have a second? Trustee Patrick? Seconds? Okay.
Yes, I'd like to make that second. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote on that.
Trustee Cazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
You're muted.
Yes. I was trying to get unmuted.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. And Trustee Wagner, you're the liaison. Would you contact him to let him know that he's been appointed? Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, item number 6 is a consent agenda. 6A is the minutes from the public hearing held on November 23rd, 2020. 6B is the minutes of the board meeting held on November 23rd, 2020. And 6C is a bill listing for the week of November 23rd and November 30th, 2020, in a total of $1,816,387.94. So motion for the consent agenda. Trustee Cazone.
President, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Trustee Ciela.
Second.
Okay, any questions from the board? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Cazone?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to number 7, item 7. 7A is the first reading of an ordinance adopting a budget for the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, for all corporate purposes in lieu of an annual appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2021. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village's fiscal year 2021 budget ordinance allocates the continued provision of village services as well as significant capital investment as discussed during the village's budget presentation held on November 23rd and the public hearing held on today, December 7th. The budget draft has been available for public inspection at Village Hall and on the village's website. The budget covers the 12-month period from January 1st through December 31st, 2021. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Seeing that this is a first reading, this is just for information or questions. We don't need a motion. So do we have any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Wagner.
I do have one quick question. Just in going through the budget, what is the difference between video gaming licenses and electronic game licenses?
That's a good question. I thought they were the same. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. What we'd like to do on that particular question, Your Honor, was do some research, and then we'll send out an email clarifying the difference between the two.
Okay, so we'll have that before the next meeting. So, anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move. That'll be on our second reading on the 23rd. And the next one is 7B, which is the first reading of an ordinance levying taxes for the fiscal year of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, commencing on the first day of January 2021 and ending on the 31st day of December 2021. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The 2020 tax levy process is well underway. The Library Board approved their levy on September 23rd. The Village Board adopted a resolution estimating the tax levy on November 9th, and several abatement ordinances will be approved tonight, December 7th. The total levy for the village and library is $12,288,109 and has been abated to $11,141,831, which is an increase of 11%. The Truth in Taxation hearing was held on November 23rd for the public to review and comment on the levy. The final amount will likely be reduced by DuPage County due to tax caps. A majority of the levy is subject to a 2.3% tax cap plus new growth. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And again, this is a first reading, so we don't need a motion. Do we have any questions or comments from the board on this? Trustee Tucker.
I have a question. I understand that DuPage County probably will take down what we ask. With the budget we're speaking of, is this counted into the budget for the appropriate amount that you asked for? Or are we just hoping to use that tax levy to move forward?
Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we anticipate that the 11% will be reduced, but our budget is still balanced and we're moving forward.
So it isn't, if they take it down a certain amount, our budget's still going to stay balanced on it. We're not.
But they reduced it down. If you remember, when we presented the original levy, the corporate fund and with pensions is about 4.9%. And the library was underneath when you looked at the spreadsheet. And so with us, if that were to happen, they're not going to lower ours too much. We'll probably take a little bit from the corporate fund. And then of course, the police and fire pensions will be reduced possibly by a little bit as well. But they should not be reducing the village's levy by too much. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move that on to our board meeting. That's on December 21st in 2 weeks for a final reading. Okay, we'll move on to item number 8A, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, establishing temporary executive powers pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Section 8-301 to 308 of the Villa Park Municipal Code and 65 ILCS 5/11-1-6 of the Illinois Municipal Code and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Act. This ordinance extends the temporary executive powers contained in ordinance number 4176, approved by the village board on November 23rd, until such time that the village board can reconvene in open session. Do I have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Ciala?
A second.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call vote. Oh, we've lost our clerk.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Salela,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
yes,
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
President Bolthus.
Yes, and that passes.
Also, President Bolthus, I'd like to just make a comment. I hear a jingling going on the whole time.
Yeah,
Here, is that something we can correct or
it's the heat register.
behind you?
Yeah, I turned it down, but it doesn't.
Okay,
I'll try it again.
all right, thank you.
The hot water. Oh, no, still there. Sorry. Okay, we'll move on to number 8B, which is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing sale by public auction of surplus equipment owned by the Village of Villa Park. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Parks Division has identified 14 pieces of equipment that are aging, inoperable, and no longer useful to the village, such as a 25-year-old Ariens snow blower, a 40-year-old Kelly Cresswell pavement striper, and a 20-year-old pole saw. A full list of items can be found in the document attached, which is now on the website, Your Honor. It is recommended that these items be declared as surplus personal property and sold via public auction. Proceeds from the sale of the equipment would be placed into the Equipment Replacement Fund account number 6541015. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Patrick
I'd like to make that motion, please.
and Trustee Cielo, second?
I will second.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
yeah, I asked earlier to, Manager Keener that if we do not sell these items, that I wanted to make sure that the public knew we would not be paying the auctioneer or the auction company for them. So I just want to make sure that was on record, that the
Oh, you're muted again, Trustee Tucker.
that we're not paying for the auction company for items that we do not sell through the auction.
Thank you. Trustee Wagner?
Can I make the assumption that we've replaced these items, these 14 items along the way?
I see the manager shaking his head yes, so yes, we have. So
That's all I have.
anyone else? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
trustee Tucker,
Yes,
trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Salela,
Yes.
trustee Kazone, trustee Patrick,
Yes.
and President Bolthus.
Yes. That passes. Move on to item number 9, which is an ordinance abating property tax levies. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. As part of the annual property tax process, the village routinely abates a property tax levy for debt service when it has certain funds available to pay the debt. Abating the property tax levy means that we are informing the county that we do not need the property tax revenues to pay the debt service on these bonds. This is common practice for general obligation alternate revenue bonds when there are other sufficient funds to make the debt service payments. The attached ordinances will abate property taxes for 5 different bond issues in 3 different categories of bonds: TIF 3 bonds, stormwater bonds, and library bonds. This year, we will be abating all or a portion of 5 bonds as follows. Would you like me to read those, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. The 2017 TIF 3 refunding bonds, because the village will have funds from rollover bonds to be issued. 2017 B, 2018 A, and 2019 A stormwater alternate revenue bonds, because the funds are available from monthly stormwater fees. And 2018 B library referendum bond, due to capitalized interest being used to make debt service payments. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to read the 5 ordinances, on these bonds that we're abating. And at the end, I'll read at the end of that, I'd like to have a motion to approve items number 9A through 9E. Okay. So 9A is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2020 to pay principal and interest on $10,000 general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2017 of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. 9B is an ordinance abating the tax levied for year 20 to pay the principal and interest of $1,150,000 general obligation alternate bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, series 2017B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. 9C is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levy for year 2020 to pay the principal and interest on $2,645,000 general obligation alternate bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, series 2018A of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. 9D is ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for year 2020 to pay the principal and interest of $2,735,000 general obligation alternate bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, series 2019A of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. And 9E is an ordinance abating a portion of the tax hereto levied for year 2020 to pay certain interest on $5,600,000 general obligation library bonds, series 2018B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Do I have a motion for items number 9A through 9E? Trustee Kazone.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinances 9A through 9E in a single vote.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, Trustee Tucker seconds. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Silella,
Yes.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
President Bolthus.
Yes, those all pass, and we'll move on to item number 10A, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, adopting the fiscal year 2021 Sugar Creek Golf Course annual budget. Andrew Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Sugar Creek Golf Course Administrative Board has approved the proposed Sugar Creek Golf Course budget for fiscal year 2021, beginning on January 1st and ending on December 31st, 2021. Proposed expenditures equal $1,096,705, and the proposed revenues equal $1,097,970, which results in a projected net profit of $1,265. According to the intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Villa Park and the Elmhurst Park District, the proposed budget must be approved by both entities prior to implementation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone.
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Siala.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker.
There are 2 items in the budget for thing, one being the removal of the fuel tanks. And the second one, I believe, is a water type thing that they were doing for a pump. I just want to make sure that the residents are aware that those 2 items are moving forward in the budget for 2021 and that they do have the funds to do those projects.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Salella,
Yes.
Trustee Pizzone,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes, that passes, and we'll move now to item number 10B, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, declaring official intent regarding tax increment revenue bonds. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hawthorne Development is proposing a two-phase mixed-use market rate residential project consisting of 344 residential units, 12,930 square feet of retail space, and 454 parking spaces adjacent to the metro station. The total project cost would be approximately $115 million for both phases. In order to facilitate financing for the project, Hawthorne Development has requested that the village issue tax-exempt obligations payable solely from available tax increment revenues of the project. These bonds will not be backed by the full faith and credit of the Village of Villa Park. These bonds are for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of the design and construction of the project. The total amount which the village intends to borrow through the issuance of the bonds will not exceed $5 million. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay. Do we have a second? Trustee Patrick?
I'd like to second that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions, or do we have a presentation, Manager Keener? Yes, we do. Okay. The developer has a presentation for us as board members and for the public.
Your Honor, I believe that Director Burke is going to introduce our guests for this evening, which will then show us their PowerPoint presentation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Patrick Burke, you're muted.
Good evening. Dr. Vish of Hawthorne Development is with us this evening. He has a presentation, a short presentation to make, and then he'll be able to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. At the outset, I want to thank the members of the board as well as the city manager and all the other staff members present, and for giving me an opportunity to present our project here, which is called Garden Station. Just a little bit of background about the company. For over 28 years, we have lived up to our reputation as a leader in sustainability and design by providing the best value in the developments around the world. We have three fundamental principles that govern our core values. One is respect for the environment. We deeply believe that Mother Earth has respected. The second is the American idea of self-reliance. We can do it ourselves, why depend on others? And the third is staying ahead of the curve, because we are always technologically ahead in all our projects. And our vision is healthier living by going green and self-reliance via net zero. I will shortly explain what is net zero. Our mission is being the best net zero green builder developer by providing outstanding value to the customer via affordable green practices in development, construction, operation, and maintenance, while focusing on green energy sources. So the green building principles, green energy, forms a fundamental part of our vision and strategy. Finally, the combined effect of all of this is that it's a very comfortable, healthier homes, and our office, for instance, that produces its own energy and using the latest technology to ensure comfort and health while generating significant cost savings for the owner and the tenant. We have won several awards. We cannot list them all. And we were chosen as the City of Chicago's City Developer of the Year. We got the Crystal Key Award for Design Innovation and Creativity, Silver Key Awards for Architectural Design, etc. We have got a whole bunch of awards. Just a sample has been represented here. We have various services in our company, various services that we offer. One is real estate development and construction, development, net zero green construction. In fact, net zero green is the only type of construction that we do. And energy, engineering, procurement, and construction for energy efficient systems, including solar and geothermal for many commercial and industrial customers. And finally, real estate finance. Just some select examples of projects. We cannot list them all here. Starting from the top, 525 Hawthorne Place in Chicago. That is some 33 stories and some 232 units and about 220 indoor heated parking garages. The 910 South Michigan Avenue in Illinois is the one that won several awards for design and construction, in addition to winning the prestigious Crystal Key Award. It's a condominium for sale, 21-story high-rise, 267 residences. It's a massive building, 650,000 square feet. To this day, this is the largest office to residential conversion in the history of Chicago, and it was a massive project. 3410 North Lakeshore Drive, which is a condominium for sale, 18-story high-rise, 220 residences. And in Forest Park, 1037 Des Plaines Avenue Terrace condominiums, 123 units, 180 car park facility, 135,000 square feet. Commodore Greenbrier, which is 10 stories, 183 units. It's located on Surf Street in Chicago, 220,000 square feet. And Garden Glen Apartments in Mount Vernon, Illinois, which is still the best apartment complex in town, even after some 20 or more years. That shows the quality that we emphasize in all our construction. Coming to the project itself, you can see the TOD map where the site is located close to the train station. And this is a two-phased project, phase 1 and phase 2. You can see the total is 344 units. And there is like a courtyard right in the middle where we bunch up the lot of amenities like a swimming pool, the pool deck, and then the areas for barbecue, and there is also a clubhouse, etc. All of these are bunched up, and it's a beautiful, a very large deck. It's more than an acre. Getting to the project details, 344 units total, phases 1 and 2, retail space is 12,930 square feet, 454 parking spaces, and one bedrooms are in the first phase, 145 units, average rent from $1,612 to $2,100. Two bedrooms are 39 units, 2,629 to 2,951. And three bedrooms are at 3,324 as average monthly rent. In phase 2, we have pretty much kept the same rent, but I'm positive that we will be able to raise the rents because the market will speak for itself. But to be conservative, we have kept the same rent. Two bedrooms are 30 units, 2,629 to 2,951, and three bedroom at the same level. Amenities, the beauty of this project is it is packed with amenities, all the modern amenities you can think of. Clubhouse, resident lounge, business center, There will be WeWork spaces. We have even created inside each unit, inside 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom, there is a separate workspace, because you know what's happening due to COVID. A lot of people are working from home, and even the people who are moving out of the city would like to be in a suburb like Villa Park and working from home. So we are providing an exclusive workspace in all the units. And there is this one has swimming pool, a sun deck, fitness center, conference rooms. We will have in the business center not only individual spaces where people can work. Sometimes, they want to have a kind of like a congregate and work together, but we'll also have separate conference rooms for, say, 4 or 5 people. You want to discuss some purchase, etc. You don't want others to know the price. Only your company needs to know it, and so we give private conference spaces that will all be built in the WeWork space. Amazon lockers, bike storage. There is a dog washing area, and then the dog park. Climate controlled parking garage, call it as pet spa, common areas, lobby, locked access, intercom 24 hours, glass walls and large porcelain tiles, 4 passenger elevators, 2 freight elevators. But I need to tell you something more important here. This project is going to be the nation's largest passive house project. And let me explain what is meant by passive house. There's a lot of engineering things here, but very simply, passive house simply means that it's extremely energy efficient, number one. Number two is that indoor air quality is paid extreme attention to. So there will be continuous supply of fresh air in all the areas. It's not like we just put a grill in the corridor and say, call it fresh air. Continuous supply of fresh air into each bedroom, kitchen, every room will have continuous fresh air. What that means is the indoor air quality is high, so it's a very healthy environment. I can safely say that people suffering from allergy, I tell you, you are likely to have the least amount of problems if you live in our development because of the superior quality. So health, comfort, it's not just energy efficiency, health and comfort of the occupants is very important. And the latest thing, particularly with COVID-19, is that how healthy is your environment? How healthy is your indoor air? This is what people are looking for. I mean, apart from the usual, COVID measures we will take, like, taking the temperature and, hand wash, et cetera, et cetera. Those things are fine. But beyond that, I'm going to be living in this space, maybe spending 16 hours, maybe 24 hours a day today in today's climate. How healthy is the indoor air? And we can proudly say that this offers one of the highest indoor air quality. We have sensors to measure if the CO2 is high, what should we do? We have VRF, variable refrigerant flow. We have the other features with respect to the HVAC systems absolutely provide the clean environment. Those are some of the aspects of the project itself. Now I would like to invite our TIF expert, Anne Maroney, to tell you more about the TIF aspects of the project.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to walk you through the next set of slides. We're here today, or we're here as to the village presenting this project because we will be asking today for your review, approval of TIF funds and a request for TIF assistance. This is necessary due to a number of extraordinary costs that the project is experiencing: environmental remediation, soil problems that require extraordinary caisson work, and significant grade changes at the site that make the project that much more challenging. And in addition to the development, the intention of the developer is to replace the parking, is to take a portion of the parking lot and replace that parking for the city. Oops. There we go. The project costs we have here for phase one are essentially similar to the breakout for phase two. So the land acquisition is 4.2 million. Hard costs are roughly 50 million. And then soft costs and other interim costs end up totaling the project at just under 62 million. The project cost as a whole, as Manager Keener said, is about $115 million. Now we've identified the eligible costs, and those include the land acquisition, soil excavation and environmental remediation, encapsulation, demolition of the properties that exist today, and the caisson work having to do with the soils. There are a number of professional fees and grade differential costs that are included in among the eligible costs, as well as a portion of the interest. Total eligible cost is 12.3 million. Our phase one request of the TIF eligible costs, the net present value amount that will be asked for in these bonds is 4.9 million. After issuance costs and reserve, the net proceeds that become available to the developer are $3.4 million. The ask today for these bonds are to enable the developer to reduce his borrowing costs, his upfront borrowing costs. That makes the project feasible. It reduces their carrying costs and makes that project feasible, gives them a return on equity that is reasonable. Now, as part of this request, or as part of giving awarding assistance to the village, there is a requirement in the TIF Act that school districts have to be reimbursed for what they call any capital costs. So what we've done to identify those costs is to get a realistic estimate of just how many students would be generated by this development based on the number of bedrooms, based on the evidence-based funding formula that's set forth in the Illinois State Board and by the calculation in the TIF Act. We've identified, based on all these figures, that approximately 15 over the course of over the two phases, 15 elementary school age children will be generated, and that's on an annual basis. And we estimate about 6 high school students may come from this development also on an annual basis. Now we've taken that number and we've extrapolated, or we've translated that into a dollar amount. And you can see here that over the two phases, there will be approximately $21.7 million in increment generated. Of that, based on the numbers, based on the estimated students, that would be about 12.7% of the increment would be going to the school district 45, and about 7.7% would be going to the District 88, the high school district. We have been in discussions with the school district to ask them if they would compromise this number and reduce it to 12.5% and 7.5%. That translates to a reduction over the remaining life of the TIF by about $98,000 in total to the school district if the numbers that we presented on the previous page come to fruition. And we've asked the school district 88 to reduce their ask by 7.5 to 7.5%. So in both cases, we're asking them to reduce their ask by 0.2 of a percentage point. And then this is the last page of sort of our presentation. We have sort of an aggressive schedule, but we have been in discussions with village staff for some time now. The milestone important date that we have coming up is the closing of the property, which the contract pending has a closing date of December 30th. So we're sort of keyed to that project to see if we can make a decision, make a successful decision on whether or not the project can go forward. we're happy to hand it back and answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you for that presentation. I believe, correct me if I believe we already had a motion for this. Do we have a motion for it?
You did have a motion. Yes, we did.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So we did have a motion, right? Okay. All right. So any questions or comments from the board members? Trustee Kazone.
Yeah, actually, I've got a few questions. One of them, and I think it was been brought up a couple from a couple different people, is these numbers for rent. Are they concerned that with the amount of people that are not using the train anymore, that locating a development like this by a train station is not going to be as profitable as it was, say, a year ago? And will that affect obviously their costs and their revenues being generated once this project is going?
Do we have Dr. Vish or Ann there possibly, or Patrick?
That's a very good question. A few things are happening. I think at the time our construction is completed, it's going to be all of next year and more like third quarter of the following year, 2022, by which time we believe that we would have had almost all the country vaccinated and our life would return to normal, if not normal, maybe 80, 90% normal, number one. Number two is that the COVID impact has been what is called the exodus from the city center. People are moving out of the city, but they have to live somewhere. They need a place to live and work, which means they will be working out of home, and they prefer a suburban environment as opposed to a crowded city environment. And we believe that the growth and the magnificent things that Center City offers, any suburban downtown and the train station and offers, is absolutely impassable for the tenants, for the residents. And I'm pretty sure what you are seeing is a temporary phenomenon. And if it changes at all, it will not be very, very deep as we move along this process with vaccination.
Okay. I'll ask my questions and then you can answer them as you need. One question is, will this be any Section 8 housing? Will you allow that in there? Secondly, once this is built, do you guys manage the property then, or do you sell it to another party to do that? And then the commercial units that you're buying, do you have to pay out or buy out any of their leases? I know like the liquor store and there's a restaurant that's in there right now. Do you have to buy out those leases, or is that going to be adjusted once you buy the property?
Let me answer these questions one by one. First of all, there is no plan for having any Section 8, not in this project. This is a market rate apartment project. So we have no such plans at all, number one. Number two, with respect to the second question was,
who manages the property once it's built?
The property will be professionally managed. We have two candidates vying for it. One is Greystar Management, the other is Village Green. Both are very reputed nationwide property management companies, so it'll be professionally managed by them. We intend holding this asset for the long term. And finally, the leases on the commercial. The commercial leases, They are all on a month-to-month basis, so we don't see any problem in having those leases, terminated. They're all on month-to-month.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Wagner.
Thank you. I'm excited by this project. Of course, we were excited when Golden Spike presented their project years ago. I'm excited about the fact that it's a net zero building, net zero development, which is very exciting. I noticed in your slide presentation that you're going to take advantage of the property assessed clean energy program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And just about the viability of the commercial spaces on the street level, do you anticipate maybe offering spaces to the existing businesses? Is that in your plan?
Let me explain, since you asked about PACE, do you want me to take a minute to explain PACE?
I think that would be, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a property assessed clean energy. It's a mechanism whereby we get certain portion of the project funded. This portion exclusively belongs to the energy efficiency and the clean energy portions. For instance, foundation insulation, the insulation for the walls, the HVAC system, the LED lighting, any sensors, occupancy sensors that we put in different work areas, et cetera, et cetera. These are all related to the energy efficiency and the basically, even whether it is lighting or even in water conservation, energy efficient fixtures we buy, plumbing fixtures, et cetera, et cetera. So all these items are eligible for a certain portion of funding from what is called PACE, which DuPage County has adopted. And that means that because the county has already adopted this, so we prepare a package that shows what are the energy efficiency and things like solar, et cetera, energy generation, energy efficiency, et cetera, that we are going to be having in this project. Then the PACE funders look at it and then they say, okay, we'll give you X amount of money toward this. And so it's an assessment against the property. That's what PACE is. Was yeah, the new leases. You asked about the new leases. We are planning to have a full service restaurant here and another breakfast bar side by side, two separate areas. Other than that, we'll have office space, etc. And we can offer to. Our goal is to have a restaurant and a breakfast place, and because there is going to be like a 344 people living here, and so there is a need for that, a nice eating place in this area. And of course, the rest of the spaces we can offer to existing commercial tenants. Yes.
And I just have a question for the manager. When do you think we will see the actual redevelopment agreement?
That's a very good question. Right now, Kathy Orr is working on that redevelopment agreement, and she'll be transmitting it to me and Director Burke when she's finished. And hopefully we can have that to the board. It's probably not going to be in this timeline, but very soon.
And just to clarify, this resolution is just expressing our intent to to issue the bonds.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Anyone else? Trustee Patrick?
Thank you. I've got one quick question. First of all, I think this is a great project for Villa Park. I think this is going to be really nice. My question is, and you might have already answered it, what is the estimated completion date of the project? Thank you.
We expect to complete phase 1 in Q3, quarter 3 of 2022. And we would have begun construction, I would say, end of the second quarter for phase 2. So from there, it'll take another, I would say, 18 months or 17 months, so to say. So that would put us like middle of 2023 or end of 2023, I'm sorry. Because, so the whole project will be completed by the end of 2023.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Trustee Tucker?
I have a couple questions for you. The retail space, you already said that you had planned on putting a restaurant and a breakfast area in there. Do you have any idea what other, do you have other businesses lining up from your previous things that would be taking space in there that you know of?
We have not talked to them about others because we've been focused on this restaurant and breakfast bar, but definitely our people would be more than happy to entertain a conversation with the existing people on the commercial strip.
My other question is on your amenities. Are you planning on doing any renting out of your business center or your conference rooms? Or is that just for the residents only? The other thing is, do you have a pet spa in all your facilities, or is this just something that's being brought into this facility? And will you be having 24/7 security on your property, or is it just through some daytime hours or nighttime hours that you'll have it, or is that security supposed? Because I noticed you said you had doormen and security. Is that going to be 24/7?
The doorman security is not going to be 24/7. It's going to be during the key hours, key business hours, because that, the project will not pencil for 24-hour security. But we will have all the, there will be key fobs and there will be all the other electronic security means that we can provide that will be there in the project. Yeah, the pet spa is something the pet spa is being provided something in response to the current trend because the pet ownership is increasing day by day, and people consider pets as part of the family, not just for company's sake, but also as a therapy kind of situation. So if some seniors move into our project, they would like to have a dog as part of as a therapeutic, and we need to provide all the facilities that they would like to have.
Are you going to be renting out the space, the conference spaces, or is that just resident only?
We have not thought about that, but I think that is something we can consider if we can rent it out to the community on a prior reservation basis. That is something we can consider because we have a large amount of usable area here, and that's a good suggestion. We would consider that.
On your clientele, I noticed there's a large amount of single units compared to anything else, but you were talking about public school kids on this project being filled in there. My question is, are you heading towards families, or are you heading more towards two-person or single, more clientele?
We expect our clientele to be a lot of working single individuals who will be predominantly looking for one-bedroom units. And we also expect a certain proportion of seniors, because what is happening, the trend is the seniors, buy a home in Arizona or Florida, but then they still would like to have a place here to visit their children. So this is maybe it'll be remaining empty 6 months in a year, but they want a place in the city or in the area, because this is where they grew up and they have moved out of their homes and they have bought a home in Arizona, but they still need so we expect about 20 to 25% seniors in our development.
Last thing, if we provide you the bonds you need, do you have your construction company shuttle ready to start on your date that you're setting for March 1st? And is that property contract going to be finalized by the 31st, or is that still an iffy contract?
No, we have a construction company ready to go. We have Carlson Construction, who have built a lot of projects around here, and so they are ready to go. There are no problems there.
And we won't see any problems with the contract or the property acquirement either, I take it, that you have it set for the end of this month?
No, we don't anticipate any problem.
Okay, so, and I take it the funds are all set in order that you will be able to do phase 2 as soon as phase 1 is done. So it will be a smooth process. You're not going to need to get other financing. Once you did phase 1, you're going to have to do a different financing for phase 2.
Yes, it will have to be a separate financing for phase 2, but we do not anticipate any problem because we would have successfully rented phase 1, especially. So success breeds success, and we don't anticipate a problem.
Are you anticipating needing the funds from the occupancies from phase 1 to be able to move forward for phase 2?
Not the funds really, because in a rental property, you don't get like millions of dollars of cash flow on a monthly basis. What would be more important for a lender is really like you have said you will rent, let's say, 10 units a month or say 15 units a month. Have you done that? If you have done that, if the velocity of absorption is per what we projected, then the lender has confidence, and so he would be ready to fund the next phase. It's not the funds from phase 1 that we could use for phase 2. That will be de minimis.
And will it make any difference if you end up with more students in your building than you've anticipated here?
I kind of doubt the students will pay this kind of rent. And this is really geared toward working people. I mean, we are not averse to taking students, but I think the market will have some sort of a self-selection by itself.
I kind of agree with you that you're probably not looking for a family into your project, but I just wanted to know if it ended up being a different number, that's not going to affect I mean, it will obviously change your discussion with the school districts, but as of us, it's not going to make any difference for the TIP funding.
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
Anything else, Trustee Tucker?
No, that is all my questions. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Murphy?
Yes, most of the majority of my questions have been answered. Thank you. But I do have one. I would be interested in hearing your decision-making and direction thought process regarding why you've determined this to be a rental unit as opposed to a condominium complex.
I think if you look at the trend today, for the for sale market, the hottest selling commodity is a single family home, not a suburban condo. Number one. And number two is that the costs have gone up in such a manner that previously we used to have a model whereby you can create something where the mortgage payments, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance is less than the rent. That is very difficult to create today in a suburban condo situation. So the price is a deterrent. And so the numbers are better today in terms of apartments as opposed to condos. And that's the reason why we decided to do an apartment. But obviously, things change all the time. 5 years from now, the whole ratio can be reversed. There was a time when somebody like me would pay top dollars for an apartment building to convert to condos. But today they are paying top dollars to deconvert condos back into apartments. That shows how the market has changed. But it could change again. 5 years from now, if the market changes, absolutely, we will convert this to condominiums.
And just one other question that just came to mind. Based on the completed projects that you've shared with us, it appears that in some of the other villages, you already have done these rental units in perhaps somewhat of a similar business model. What experiences can you share with our board with respect to the successes or the challenges with these rental rates? Because our mortgage rates in Villa Park are very competitive and affordable. So are you finding any challenges in your other projects with respect to these market rental rates in comparison to what the mortgage rates are for similar single-family homes in those towns?
No, we don't find the rental market to be challenging. Our experience has been that that they are able to pay the rent that is prevalent in the marketplace because they are commensurate with the kind of units we create and the kind of amenities we provide. And if anything, there has been situations like people would say, like, boy, I wish you would convert it to condos because this is such a beautiful apartment project, etc. So that has been the trend.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, well, I'm looking forward to the project. We've been waiting a long time to have something movement over there in that area. So I think this will be a great addition to Villa Park, and we just hope that we can bring everything together and make this happen. So with that, having had a motion and a second, I would like to call for a vote.
Okay, Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Kazone.
Yes.
Trustee Tucker.
Yes.
Trustee Salela.
Yes.
Trustee Patrick.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Bolthus.
Yes, with that, it passes. And Dr. Vish and Ann, you're one more step on the way to doing this project. So we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, okay, we'll move on to public comments on non-agenda items. Manager Keener, do we have any comments?
Your Honor, there's no one in the chambers to comment, and there's no emails also. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk's report?
I have no report. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to trustee report. Trustee Kazone.
I just have one thing. The Economic Development Commission will be meeting next Wednesday, the 16th at 5:30. It will be a Zoom meeting, and hopefully we'll have enough for a quorum. And last month we didn't have enough, but December 16th, 5:30, and Economic Development Commission will be meeting. And that's it.
Thank you. Trustee Patrick?
Hi, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of things really quick. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the Villa Park Community Pride Commission. They've been doing an outstanding job of recognizing our residents' holiday decorations lately, and I think they deserve a pat on the back there for a job well done. This last week, they just recognized the Phillip home at 39 West Madison as the official Villa Park holiday home this season. If you haven't seen the Phillip family home's lighting display, I suggest you go check it out, go see it. Really good display that Andy put up there. As usual, I just want to thank all of our essential workers and our first responders out there doing these hard jobs in these hard times. So thank you. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Wagner?
Thank you, President Bulfus. I just have a couple things. I want to let the board know and the community know that the Tri-Town YMCA will be holding another Nourished and Healthy event. It's going to be on Tuesday, December 14th from 4 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. They are partnering with the Northern Illinois Food Bank and District 45. And I also want to mention that they will be distributing coats on a limited basis, and these are provided by donations provided to the St. Alexander's Knights of Columbus. So kudos to them. And they'll also be providing on a limited basis books to kids that are coming through, and those are going to be provided by Scarce. There is a need for volunteers. They had a meeting today, and we're looking for, we're hoping to get at least 25 volunteers. Given the demand for their last event, they don't think it'll be as heavy as the one before Thanksgiving, but still there's a tremendous need in the community. So they are looking for volunteers. So if you go to the Tri-Town YMCA website, there'll be a opportunity there to volunteer. Want to mention that the Traffic and Safety Commission will be meeting on Wednesday, December 9th. I just want to repeat that. Wednesday, December 9th at 8 p.m. Via Zoom, and there will be folks at Village Hall. One of the main items on their agenda will be review of the Myrtle and Central recommendations. The Myrtle and Central intersection study. So if you're interested, please attend. Just want to shout out to the Chamber of Commerce for the tremendous work that they did. I guess I'm going to call it the Joyful Traditions with a Peppermint Twist, as Alicia Bailey has coined it. Just a tremendous amount of work done by volunteers to make that happen. And I just want to remind families that have trees to really help them out, because at the end of the season, they have to take those trees down. And if you leave your ornaments on, it's just additional work for the chamber and their volunteers. So please remove your ornaments, hopefully to use them next year, so they don't have to dispose of them for you. One thing that I just want to follow up with, and maybe staff can, I don't need an answer tonight, but Resident Joe Amore had submitted something to all of us and the village staff about the need for additional signage at railroad crossings and maybe the relocation of some signage on railroad crossings. And I just want to follow up with staff on that. If there's not an answer available this evening, I understand, but I'd like to know where we're at with that. And then lastly, we are in the phase 3 mitigation, and residents have mentioned to me that some of our businesses are carefully following that, and maybe other businesses may not be. And my concern is that the forecast or the projection is that we're going to have possibly a very rough winter with respect to COVID-19. And I understand the stress that all our businesses are under, but I would really like to know how we can maybe communicate with our businesses, especially the ones that are not following the mitigation rules, to see how we can communicate with them, to see how we can help them. Because if we don't want to have a major outbreak in town because we didn't follow the mitigation rules. And I know it's rough. I completely understand they're under a lot of stress, but I just feel if we could reach out to them, maybe especially the businesses that are having trouble complying, maybe we can find some way to help them or help them comply. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to point out to, in honor of our veterans that we lost at Pearl Harbor and the family members that did lose people there, to keep them in mention of the great sacrifice they did do at Pearl Harbor on this day in 1941. I briefly want to also remind people that there is a Park and Rec meeting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So even though the programs are kind of limited due to pandemic, if of course you have any questions or about anything going on at Rec, don't hesitate to get on their website and check it out or give them a call. They are providing the best service they can in a very tough situation for that staff. So please keep that in mind. And that is all.
Thank you. Trustee Seattle.
No report this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Murphy.
I have no report. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think I missed anybody. Trustee Wagner.
I just want to mention, I forgot to mention it, it was announced today that the community-based testing site out in Wheaton will be continuing on through the end of January. And I guess I would assume that would also go for the testing site in Villa Park. I'm not sure. But the Wheaton site will be continuing through the end of January.
I talked to the ODM, and they're scheduled to go through to the end of the year. They didn't have any answer yet if they was going to extend it over there. So the health department didn't say anything about that today on our call. So I just want to make a couple mentions today. I did have the health department call today, like I do every Monday. And as it was alluded to, the Thanksgiving spike in DuPage County has started. The numbers are going up. So we just want to remind everybody, even though there is a vaccine on the way, we still have to abide by the rules with the wearing your masks. It's very important. That has been shown to be very effective. So it's going to be a while before we see everybody gets vaccinated. The first round of vaccinations, they hope to have them they figure they might be replete. The Pfizer ones will be available starting on December 10th, but they take a few days for it to get to DuPage County and then for it to get distributed. The Moderna other vaccine is hopefully be approved by the 17th. And again, that takes a little while to get here. Those vaccines will come into this area in the central hospital for receiving all those for distribution is Loyola University Hospital. that's where they'll go, and it'll be distributed from that location. We know how many vaccines are going to go there, but we have to remember that in our section, our area 8 here in DuPage County, part of area 8 includes part of western Cook County and like Oak Park, and goes that far to the east, and then some more part of Cook County down a little bit south. The health department figures that the timeline for the vaccines, as you've been hearing on the radio, they have different priorities. It starts with priority number 1A, which are healthcare workers. And that it's more than just the nurses. That includes the people who come in and clean the rooms in between the patients and during the day, and food service people. That's all included in group 1A. And also then we get in group 1A is the long-term care facilities, residents and staff in those facilities. They figure there's about 58,000 people in that group in DuPage County. That's quite a few. There will no way be enough vaccine in the first distribution. And they figured it'll take about 6 to 8 weeks to inoculate all those people in that first group 1A. Then they move on to group number 1B, which are essential workers, police, fire, correction officers, educational sectors, food and agriculture and utilities. Now, some of that may change who's in that group depending on the amount and who has priority based on the availability of the vaccine. The other thing that we wanted to remind the residents of, these vaccines will only be given to people 18 years old and older. They really don't have any results from trials for younger people. So they'll be concentrating these first for quite a while. I don't think we're going to see any vaccines for healthy young people like most of us here on the board until at least midsummer or maybe late summer before it's available for the general public. So it's going to take a little while. So I know we're all excited about that coming, but we're still going to have to make sure we watch how we conduct ourselves and to wear the mask and continue to maintain the procedures we have now to stop the spread as best we can. So. Also then, besides that, I just want to remind everybody that our next board meeting is on December 21st at 7 p.m. There is no Planning and Zoning Commission meeting this week as normally scheduled, but they don't have anything to discuss, so that meeting's been canceled. And also, I noticed, I think I saw an email this last week that our Prairie Path photo was taken of the Prairie Path with the lights on it, and it's in the Choose DuPage website and in their brochure that was sent out to everybody, all the villages around DuPage County, and anybody who's interested in DuPage County. So kudos to the chambers for the decorations. We're getting to be known through the rest of the county, so really appreciate that. And I too am enjoying the decorations everybody's putting up. I noticed it seems to be like there's many more homes that are decorating this year, and it looks really great. So I guess maybe that's a little bit of fatigue that people are doing whatever they can to raise the spirits. But I, for one, I appreciate everybody doing that. I put my sorry little decorations out this last week. We turned them on after Thanksgiving, and I can't compete with the other residents in town, though. So I don't have that many bushes and stuff in yards place to put them in. So, but I just really appreciate everybody for all you're doing. So, and that's all I have. So with that, we'll move on to the manager.
I have one question. That vaccine is still in 2 phases, correct?
Yes, right. That's 2 phases, depending on which one it is. The Pfizer one is 21 days, and the second vaccine is 28 days in between them. So,
Yeah, I wanted to make sure they're aware that it's a 2-phase thing before they move to the next group. It is going to be a 2-phase, probably a fact. So it could be
thank you.
way late for it.
Thank you. There a lot of these plans on the vaccination is still kind of up in the air. This is, as I said today, this has never been done in this scale before. So they had plans for vaccinations, but not in this scale. So a lot of things keep changing. So, okay, Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to mention to Trustee Wagner that we'll check into Joe Maury's signs, et cetera. Happy to do that. And Your Honor, just with the COVID doses, both those doses have to be from the same drug. You can't intermix one dose with the other dose. So with that, Your Honor, I pass.
You got to stick with the brand. If you're a Chevy man, you buy just Chevys. Don't go buy a Ford. And if you're a Ford guy, don't go buy a Chevy. So yeah, you have to stick with the manufacturer. They're actually going to keep a log, a list of everybody who gets the vaccine, the date they get it, and which brand they're using. And that all will be recorded and sent down to the Illinois Department of Public Health. So they'll know exactly who has and which, in case you forgot which vaccine you had, that information will be available to the health department. So, and they want to just keep a good track on who has it and where we're exactly going. So, okay. Anything else? Well, I guess that's it then. Well, I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. How's that sound? Trustee Capone?
President, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second the motion.
With that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, with that, we'll adjourn. We'll see you on the 21st. Have a good day.